All right, guys, ready? Do a big power clap. Yeah. How are we doing? Good. Okay. All right. Hanging in there. All right. How's your day? Yeah. Tim, your day? Here. There. Yeah. Good. Oh, sure. Yeah, nice. Great. How's your day? Bad? So Saturday was fun, right? We had a good time with that. Everybody have fun on Saturday? Their project? Right? Car? Fish time? Cool? Yeah, good. Yeah. But I did it this fun. So yeah, so it was a tough project, right? That was kind of a tough little challenge on Saturday. There's a lot of stuff that we hadn't yet covered completely, and a lot of stuff you need to figure out on your own. So I think it's really challenging. I think it was a challenge for a lot of reasons, just because we're kind of using a lot of things together, and we didn't know what one thing that we learned at one time we were supposed to use at the right place, right? Am I wrong, or am I on about that? Totally correct, right? Like, what element did I learn that was going to apply to this lesson, right? So today is a .3, and what I mean by that is this is a typical Saturday class, on another day. So the schedule's set up for a 4-hour class, technically with like an hour of lab. So it's scheduled as a lab. So today I'm going to approach to do a little bit of review, and then we're going to kind of walk through the lab. But instead of having you guys just go and build a project, I'm going to walk through like step by step with the project. And I'll check in with every team and see where we're at, and maybe I can figure out a way to Slack out team just to make sure everybody's on the same page with it throughout. I think that's going to be a really good way to kind of get us all on the same page. So unfortunately, again, for some of us, it'll be a review. But for some of us, it'll be just a way to get things all caught up. And this will be the final class of constructors, callbacks, and such. All right, so today is constructors and callbacks in the wild. And we're going to build an application. And the cool thing that we're going to do today that we haven't done yet is essentially create a design or an architecture of what the application is going to look like. It's going to be really rudimentary. You don't have to go super crazy with this. We're going to use draw.io, or if you're, I have another like Lucid Charts type program that you like, that you've used in the past, feel free to use it. But basically, we're looking at just making a flow chart. So we're going to break up into groups. One person will be responsible for making a flow chart. The other people will help project manage it. So we're going to use constructors again, create objects. I know it's repetitive for a lot of us, but it's just something we're going to do as a final class of it. We're going to go over callbacks again, which is something we've already gone over quite a bit. Closures, which is also something we've already done, but we haven't necessarily put a name to it. And promises, which, to Tim's point, is something we've already done, haven't necessarily put a name to it, except for we're going to use the global sense of promises, which we've actually never gone over in class. And I'm just going to touch on that because I'm kind of going outside of what the curriculum is. This word is never mentioned in the curriculum. I just think it's something that we should kind of be aware of. So feel free not to write it down or just blank it out when I'm going over it. But it's something I want some of us just to understand or hear the word and go, okay, I know how that works if it comes up ever in your work life, right? And then we're going to do a node checkpoint. Like I said, this feels like a Saturday kind of a thing, and it is. But that's just going to just do a quick little quiz at the end of class to see how you feel about node. Just all the things we've gotten together. Remember, it's not a graded thing or anything. It's just to see where you guys are at and where I'm at and what we do. I need to go over and stuff. All right, guys, big power pop. All right. Yeah. All right, so I kind of winged my lesson. I had this super well planned out last night, and then I ended up making a bunch of slides like today because I realized there was stuff that we never really went over, and you guys saw it in your homework. And since I don't really have a line of sight to the homework, I think that's intentional. So you guys learn stuff without me like interjecting. But I think it's important that I like cover it in case there's any questions or understanding why something is the way it is, right? So did you guys run into this in your homework assignment? Did you guys run into the environments thing? Right? You were like, how many understood what was going on there, like fist of 5? Well, let's see everybody's hand. Oh, never mind then. All right. Well, if anybody else wants to get a little more knowledge, why not prepare the slide? I was like, oh, yeah. So essentially, you get it. Do you want it? Virginia, want to explain it? Okay. We're just setting environmental variables here, right? And then we're calling them, right? And then we're able to use them in our application. But this is the main key, right? Using this .env environment package, we're able to use this little .env file, and this allows us to create keys. So can somebody tell me why I want a different version? Okay, let me try this. This typically wouldn't be put into a repository. Somebody want to tell me why? You don't want to steal keys? That's good. Okay. Might I have different keys in different environments? This is our local environment. Maybe this is dev environment, QA staging, production environment. Might I have different keys? Yes. I can tell you for sure, yes. And usually when in production, the developer is not allowed to see this. Right? There's an actual production environmental variables that are set that the developer would see. Just as an extra firewall of protection on the IT side, right? Just as a, sorry, that's hidden. And I've worked directly with like system administrators and that staff and developers in IT are constantly, like this sometimes. But I've sat next to somebody trying to troubleshoot something, and he said, "Hey, turn away quick." This is a guy I've known for like 3 years. I go out to happy hour with. I know well, and it's like, turn away quick, because he knows that I'm going to be looking at this file. He's going to be troubleshooting something in here, and he doesn't want me to see all the answers and passwords and everything that stores his environmental variables. Does that make sense, guys? Fist of 5. All right, well, that's it. That's how that works.
What if you accidentally commit a parameters file that environmental variable file to the repository?
How do you get it out of there? Why don't you tell us how you get it out of there?
Well, so what I'm saying, guys, is that you have to be very careful with these environmental files, right? If you put any credentials in a file, like what we have here, and you put it to your Git repository, what does Git do? It keeps track of everything, right, over time, all the changes in your repo. So if you remove a file from your repo, it didn't just forget it indefinitely. It forget it everywhere. It just forgot that particular commit, that particular version of your application. It's still in the history of your repo. This is a big problem people have when they build their application. Initially, they're building it, it's just kind of a rough, version application. They just throw some parameters like this, something there, and then later on they go idle and they'll clean it out. A lot of hackers will go and just kind of snoop around in repos and look through past commits and look through files that were maybe stripped out later but are still in the history.
Ooh, bonus question. So how would I avoid this file? Ignore. Bonus points. You get 2 points. Yeah. Oh, you can add it to the .ignore, so it'll ignore what when you do your push in your repository, it won't push this file. So then it's not available in the repository.
So what's the trick on the push line, of course?
Oh, it's something you need to worry about. This, but yes, the trick to deleting it out of previous repos Once it's already there, I guess you'd have to create a new repository. I don't know how to get rid of old commits.
Yeah.
Or rebase. Is that?
Not rebase, but there are, the point is that just because you, like, let's say you later on add your protected files to your git ignore, that doesn't mean that it's just gone from your repository. It just means that
You're no longer
committed in,
Yeah, if you're talking about historical data and you've already done it, then I mean, as far as I know, the only way to do it would be to create a new repository and do that. Otherwise, you're always going to have a historical data in previous code.
Probably we know in the applications folder where do we keep those somewhere at the API that we create.
That's a good question.
It needs to be there, so
or
we can run the code.
it needs to be stored somewhere, right? But since you can store that file locally on your own machine, where you have it. As far as storing it somewhere in repo, you can probably store it in another location, maybe a private vault or Google Drive or something that you have. Of course, if you're working for an organization, they'll have a secure network drive for you to save it.
So if I had, let's say, a domain name on the server somewhere, I can store it and keep it back where.
This will most likely live within your application, this environment. So this isn't something that you would call into another source to bring in most cases. So.
Sort of like if you ever you have.
Yeah, there you go. Sure, change them all. Yeah, change them all. Sure. but these ones still might be valid, or you'd have to invalidate your so, yeah. Okay. All right. So long ways around for a 5-second conversation, but yes, that's it. Okay. Recursive approach versus iterative approach. I realized in the example that I used on Saturday, and Christian kind of brought this to my attention. The sample was a little bit complex for what we needed to show there. So let me see. And like I said, I changed kind of, oh my gosh, holy cow, there's a lot of things going on here. I kind of changed the schedule today just because I wanted to make sure I covered some things, but now I'm regretting it a little bit. Okay. Okay. So do you guys remember the project that we worked on Saturday at all? 55. How come like half the class didn't get 55? I'm gonna wait till everybody's hands up with a number. You all remember the project. Bunch of lies. Remember there was a round function that we wanted to get to, right? And so that was requiring a recursive loop, right? Recursive way to do it. We couldn't do a for loop in there because what would happen is synchronously that would happen, right? And asynchronously we're waiting for some other stuff to happen, right? So in this case, I kind of simplified what's going on here. So it's basically a for loop, right? You can see it. Let me step through it. So we set the count to 0, right? There's a next number function happening. So boom, you guys automatically know it's 50. Don't think about it yet. Obviously, you're not doing anything with it. Next number already here, right? We're calling a function. If the count is less than 5, or 0, count plus plus, log of the count, next number. What's this going to call? Everybody? Right. Okay. Now, obviously, now we're at 1, right? Count plus 5, we're going to go here, right? Going to loop again, right? Until what? Yes. Had to double check that one. Do you guys want to see it? Or do we trust it works? I don't know. Make what big? Nick, do you want to sit up front? Because you can sit right here. We're gonna have you right. Oh man, it's gonna be one of those days, Nick. All right, there we go. All right, is that better, Nick? Yeah, good. All right. And I do just as a reminder, guys, I do push always like some updates if I have something ready to go like the night before. Usually it's 1 or 2 days before class that I have stuff up on my repo. So if you guys ever watch it or keep watch of it, I usually have my presentation, like at least a draft of it done, and then some activities are usually put out there too. And I even put instructor notes out there too, stuff that I'm going to make sure that I cover. So just as a little helpful hint. Trust me, a lot of times I go over it and I go, oh, I forgot to say this, and it was in my notes. So it's really helpful to go over that. All right, there we go. So we ran a sample recursive loop. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then all done, right? So it's nothing we haven't seen yet with this. What would happen if I would have not been the if statement around this? What's that called? Right, an infinite loop. How do I get out of it? We'll see, or just let the computer crash, right? Huh? I think I get some sort of call stack here. But anyway, yeah. So when it's done, it's just all done. That's it, and the project's done. So where would be a good case to use this, guys? Does this make sense? How we did our request and where that would take place here? Because when the for loop happens, it's not waiting for that asynchronous request. But in this case, we are waiting for the asynchronous request, right? Because if it was written as a then, right, as that callback, we have the function, we have the callback, we can say, okay, do this stuff and then add 1, right? Do this stuff, then add 1, right? And then it'll come back to the function above it, right? You guys remember how we did this Saturday? All right. How do we feel about that loop? I just want to make sure we all understand it. Yeah. Okay. All right, moving on. Cool. All right. So I thought I'd cover that stuff, but it sounds like you guys pretty much get it. So let's jump into this, right? Let's do a sketch architecture as in the way defined by Bootcamp 101. We are going to do this ourselves for our application today. This is how we're going to do it, right? Yours is going to look slightly different than this because this is just an application I made on the fly. You guys remember my OMDB request app that I did? Let's do a little sketch of it, created it. Let's go over it again. What I want to show in this application is I want to console log the actors and plots. So let's just take a look at what this looks like. Chris's awesome OMDB example is awesome. Your voice got a little higher there, Nick. Oh. All right, so here we go. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to turn the actors and the plot, right? So I'm going to say the princess bride. Okay, so in my application, I want to turn the plot, right? And I want to return the actors. All right, so this is my app. That's simple. So the name of it is the OMDB request. I'm obviously going out somewhere and getting that information. So what I did first was kind of build a bullet point, right? A bullet list in my head of everything that this needs, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna need a request. So what I'm gonna do, I want to be able to supply is a movie title. Okay. Somehow I'm going to need a movie constructor, right? That's going to be able to return specific things from this, right? I'm going to return the plot. I'm going to return the actors. So supplying a movie, right? Finding a movie, right? Wherever that happens to be in the OMDB, right? And then printing the actors and the plots to the console. That's as simple as it goes, right? If I might add additional requests to this that I might get, that kind of thing. But let's go through this. Let me just show you the application and how it applies to this directly. Okay. That big still? It's pretty big. Is that too big? It's a little big. All right. Okay. So if you guys can kind of just remember what this looked like. All right. There really is no specific wrong answer, but this is kind of a good place for you guys to determine, okay, what are all the elements in here and how does this look together as a flow, right? First things first, right? I'm requiring this movie.js that I created. This has a package, a request package, right? Is my constructor. Okay, I have a find movie method set up that uses the movie title, searches the OMDB, right? A trimmed version. You guys seen this before? Okay, what's it do? Yeah, it takes out the white spaces. All right, then I'm just doing a request, parsing out the JSON data, which is nothing more than just pulling it out. And then I'm turning these into strings, right? So I have the plot, showing the plot in the movie data, showing the actors, joining them by a couple of line breaks, and then I am consoling log the movie data. And of course, you guys remember the module that exports, right? Movie, what is this exporting? Yeah, constructor, that's right. Let's have it a second time. All right. I think it confused me. I did name the object. Right? Right? So now we're accepting, okay, we'll go back here. We know we're accepting arguments, right? The process.argv, right? So we know that we're requesting the movie title, as you guys can see up here, right? A little bit. And then setting it, right? So now setting it to 0, just because I'm setting it to nothing, right? Just tick, because it's going to be a empty string. And we're going to just concatenate. We're going to add things to it. So starting with the second iteration in that process gig, right? The first one is the location of the NPM package. The second one is the location of the file itself. Third one is anything that the user has inputted, right? So in this case, it's starting with 2, going through the entire length of how many things that the user inputted with a space, whatever, and just concatenating it. And I'm adding a string to the end of it, lazy. I'm trimming it out later. But that way, there's always going to be a space in there, right? Since this is part of the URL, there would be something better I should have done here. Or %20, something like that. Okay, searching for a movie, and then console log, and then finally displaying the movie. All right, so I just broke that down into parts. So for this exercise, you guys will be building this in draw.io for your project. Okay, so we'll separate into groups, maybe like 3 or 4 minimum, and you guys will build this. What you should have is the item, like the initial request, right? What you're hoping on receiving in that request, right? In my case, the movie title, right? What kind of constructors are you going to build? What kind of things is it going to have, right? Just conceptually, what's this going to look like? and then what kind of functions you might require, what methods you require to get that information. And then what are you going to print out? I'm going to print actors, and I'm going to print a plot to console. Now, your project's going to be slightly more complicated because you're going to have a couple of requests, and we're not only going to print out to the console, we're going to print to a file. All right, you guys remember the file IO stuff from 2 Saturdays ago? So, y'all with me? Okay, so yeah, so that's it. You guys want to start on this? Keep moving. Are there after I show the instructions, let me know if there's any questions. Actually, let's Slack out the instructions because I don't think mine are complete. So let's see. They said divvy up the responsibilities, but you know, I think this project might work. If you don't, you can. We're going to draw a diagram describing the flow, right? How this all works, and you guys got to understand what you're actually going to be looking at. That's all in the instructions that we send out. So, what kind of app are you going to build? Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let me do this. I'm gonna. I don't know if I can Slack this out. You know what? I'm gonna Slack out the animated GIF that shows what the app is about, and then I'll demo it quick too. So, did I include the TV app example GIF? All right, you Slack out the instructions. I'll Slack out this one. All right. Let's set this up. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what this app will do. Can you guys see that? Is that too small? Show. Show world. All right. So with this example, we're gonna want to be able to pull a TV show, okay, and we're also gonna be able to pull actor information, right? There's a TV show and actor, or actor. Right, so in this example, I just did node CLI show Westworld, right? The other example is going to be node CLI actor, and we'll do who's a good actor. All right, Al Pacino. All right. We're returning information on Al Pacino, not just Al Pacino. Any actor that the user specifies. The GIF that I sent out just kind of demos it of what you guys will want to see. But we're definitely going to want that same log information that we pull, that we show the user, to show the console, to write to the file. But don't worry, we're going to take one step at a time. So don't just jump in and do it, right? First step is create the architecture piece of it. Okay, guys? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. I don't want anybody to get too far ahead or too far behind. So 15 minutes of just this. Talk about it. Set up yourself into 3 groups. You want me to sign you guys quick? I can you 3 work on it. You guys do 1 back. Here, you 2 in the back.
Yeah, well,
okay. You 3 good. And 4. 4.
All right.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. If you guys don't want to use the flowchart application, but. You can use paper?
No, I'm done.
It's probably something you
So man, how did your
on the job. It's almost like pseudo. So,
You can just say, like, good way to hang out with you. I would just say, like, because I can't take it out. So I guess I don't understand that. Say it again. So you're having they're on action.
They're not.
Oh, I guess it's truly required.
I think we have
Just for the rest of the day, just hang out. Like, just, you know, that way. I would say, like, you had other opportunities. Now it's happening.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. very charming. I mean, you must not really matter.
Then you have to.
I guess you don't have to.
Outside of what?
That's a good.
Got the green light though.
Yeah. Like how much? So. But I mean. Yeah. Right. So another. Is that like with callbacks? This method calls this one, this one calls this one. Also, then the top one.
So it's using the chain that. Solid response is and then we're listening otherwise
The way I would phrase it, I would explain and then I'd be like, you see what's the problem, right? Well, this is a solution. I'm gonna put it out. Well, you could like introduce it to the so like I forget like and now we have this. Maybe
Very exactly the same as screen bit.
All right, guys, big power clap. All right, I don't want anybody starting their application yet. Please, like, hands off the keyboard, just in case you guys are already like. Yes, sure. So I want to see some examples. How do we do that? Does anyone want to take some screenshots and Slack it to me? That would be good. Just take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Take a picture? Take a picture and Slack it to me? All right. Who's going to Slack me first? Don't all Slack me at once. Did you put it in Monday, Wednesday? Oh, all right, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Duncan, good job. Yeah, right on, right? You guys, yeah, so, well, he sent it, so I got to give him credit, right? Right, requested from the CLI, right? Movie, actor, find a movie or an actor, print to console, and file, right? Very good. Nice. Exactly right. Any other thoughts you guys had on that you wanted to cover? Like, were you, or like, what helped you formulate that? Like, did you bullet point first? Did you just sketch it out? You guys, yeah. So process. Took one thing at a time?
Yeah, I copied yours.
You copied what? You copied her? You copied Virginia's? Copy mine? Good. I know. Yeah, same thing. Real good, Steve. Yeah, and you guys, the Mod Squad, right? You didn't put doing the show, doing the actor name, right? That's pretty good. That makes sense. We do want to see a completed, a finished product. So, Brady, you showed me Google. That's good. Yeah, I mean, you guys are looking for your perfect solution. Oh, good gracious. And there we go. Okay. Whoa, what's going on here? All right, man. It takes some practice. It's cool, but it has artistic, like, balance. You'll think feng shui, right? A little lot. Yeah, you definitely want to try to attach the arrows to the. Yeah, but yeah, at least you got an E for effort, man. You got a really nice. And Google, and that's it. Okay, well, yeah, good guys. I like them all. But let's see what we're looking at for here. All right. So yeah, something like this is exactly it, right? So get an actor or show as far as being your command, right? That you're looking for, right? Goes to TV, right? As a constructor, right? Find show, find an actor, log onto the text file, write to the log, the text file, right? And then print to the console, right? So something like this, you guys got it pretty right on. So that's exactly what we want to do. So what do you guys think will be the first thing we work on for this project? We're going to start, this is the very top. All right, we're going to start with the CLI, right? So we're going to actually start with that piece of it, right? So we're going to do the command line argument just to determine whether the user setting is searching for show or searching for the actor, right? Along with it, the parameters that are there. Okay, so we're going to jump into the application, but we only want to focus on that part of the application right now. And the instructions are a little long. If you have them, Kristen, for this piece of it, a little more in depth, I think. Right. So all we're doing at this stage, guys, we're not actually doing the. We're not going out and getting it. We're not writing through it. We're not doing anything like that. We're just going to write the function that handles it. All right. So we're going to use a process.rv, right? Go through it, process the first user input as what we're trying to achieve, which command line argument, the first one. The rest of them are going to be a part of the actual query. Does that make sense? All right. Christian, if you don't have it, oh, you did? Okay, awesome. Also, guys, as part of this, check out the array slice command. If you haven't already used it, that might be a good feature to bring in at this point. So just do a little Googling, check out array slice. And once again, guys, we'll probably have one person doing it if that works, doing the actual coding, and the rest of you kind of helping. Unless you want to break this up into modules, you can work it up that way too.
That was
You're asking why.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a search. Yeah.
Guys, the GIF that's being referenced in that, I sent that on the Slack just a few minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier. So if you guys aren't able to find it, it's in the Slack.
Yeah, I think like you just at this stage, like this is making sure we're processing. I guess once we actually told them, that's what we'd be. I'll figure out what to do. So this is you can hear what I was saying? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was looking at that, I was like, why do you keep getting rid of him? But it's like based on after all the, yeah, because I did that in theory, where after the third parameter, you slice it so it takes that.
You see how it says in the top line, outside the code example, it says the object selected from end to end.
And I did that. What's
Place is more like
What's the difference?
All right, guys, real quick. Hard lap. All right, quick attention, guys. So this first step, all we're doing is taking the process.rb file. That's all we're doing, right? We're taking it, saying, okay, we're gonna have a command that says movie or actor, or TV show or actor, whatever we're doing. And then we're taking the actual elements that it's providing, right? So we'll take the query part of it. So that's all we're doing in this phase. So are you guys there? How are we doing fist of 5? Did you guys process the RB yet? Okay, that's all we're doing right now. That's it. All right, so let's move on. We will have, so now we're gonna just do the one side of this, right? So we're gonna create a constructor. We're gonna do the find show method of a constructor, right? We find show. So basically, we're going to have the objects that perform the AJAX request and save the data local files just down the find show route. So I'm going to send instructions. Do you want to send instructions?
for this piece. And we'll see what this looks like. This will include the actual package name you need for this. Oh, I think we have to send out the, can you? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna send out a tv.js file, right? That's gonna contain the constructor function that'll be used in the creation of the TV object, capable of searching the TV Maze API. TV Maze API is what's gonna return us the shows and the actors, okay? So if you're looking at OMDB, my sample used it, but that wouldn't be the same package that you guys will be using. Cool. So just in this first one, we want to be able to return things like the name of the show's genre, the show's average rating, the show's network name, and the show's summary. This all be the instructions when I see it. Verify it works. Just at this point, we want to be able to run the node CLI show and the show name. So just like I did with that Westworld, that's all we're going to do right now. We'll get to the actor part next, but so just like I'm able to do CLI show Westworld, this is what you guys want to see. Boom. Right, we got the genre, the ratings, the network, the summary. Have you guys seen Westworld? Yeah. Awesome. Awesome show. Yeah. That's you will need to do a request. Yeah. And you'll lose it. Basically, like 1 week. Yeah. We're stepping through.
We're only using this one API, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna be practice.
Yeah, but don't worry about it, that part right now. Just work on the TV part. But yes, that's good to know. Yeah. Okay, so at this phase, we're just gonna have the show part. I just want to reiterate, this is gonna console log it and it's gonna write to the file. So this phase that we're in right now, we're gonna console log this information from the show, and we're gonna write it to a file, a log file. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's very straightforward, right? So remember, there's two branches, right? One is moving, one is active.
So if they take.
You're gonna have your application. So let's say our output first. Our atoms are all this is the, what this is like. Right now, we're that's a parameter, right? And then we're like, saying,
Okay.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out what the it's supposed to be.
You need to evaluate.
We're talking about
Yeah, so like, that's the first one. Sure. Because like, you have to go through the process, like, set the eye, and then, here.
Remember that? What does this do? But you really,
So,
you know, it's two, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So what you need to do is you need to figure out what you need to do to get this. And then based on the factors, if it's
Right, so
you want to
this-
go.
This file here, all this file can do is take that.
You could, or you could do a switch to. That's fine. The point is that this is how the application is doing. So it's going to say, when I want to, also, I'm going to be doing I get that. I'm going to search for here. It's all I do that means I want to search different.
So that's what
I want to do different.
So this should be the title variable. Set the title variable in the function.
This should be title or it should be.
No, that's
Whatever string.
Yeah.
Do it for it or,
well, so we will do
Yeah.
this is our application, right?
All of that's.
Yeah.
This is our string.
Actually, you have that process already.
This is our script. This makes sense. Right? And then we're gonna pass two parameters. The problem is that this is really, this is 1, 2, 3. We need to be careful not to say, this is tricky, right? Because I can say, I know the first parameter is just gonna be like a fraction of the kind of but then all of the rest parameters are going to be. Yeah. So what's gonna happen is I can get an array out of
process that.
by parameters, and I can just split.
But it's going to be. So I wonder if I can just the object.
Split it, look at the and then everything, this is all part of one parameter. And this, 0, 1. So this is the trick. Does that make sense? I need to be able to once I have this.
And then once you have the
so
equation, now we're
I
there.
can write this parameter. Let's say I
This
call this parameter,
So,
you know, fraction.
okay, so we're going to need a couple things.
Whatever. I'll just do one. So the point is this, what we're all going to do. What's a variable? Fraction. It's like. What?
So first is going to be
How about that?
request, right?
Yep.
Something like that. So, this would be the chart.
Oh.
And then based on those goals, you're then going to switch, we're going to validate it. And if it is high, we're going to take this over our API.
Yeah.
Or add that to get it to back, but if our term, if our time is really term, we're going to run. That's what I was thinking.
So they're all hard. Okay. So I want to give away the whole thing.
I'm reading that. There's different ways you can do it. I think what we're gonna wanna do is probably, the goal of this application is to separate our application from like yourself. So make it possible, right?
Take them one at a time. I'll put it. You don't have to put it on.
Yeah. But you have to be careful because you know that those parameters have been one word. But the rest of them, like I can have a movie that is one word long, that's one word long. I need to be able to break it and turn, take all these measures of red and then break it at the first element. Take that first element and make it all the rest of it here and then together and make that turn. Does that make sense? Because I feel unless I can know that every movie title will never be too long, unlike I don't know. One movie might be called so that's the trick. That's the first one. Work on this. Well, not just the switch, but break it down process.r and getting the correct and the correct data to convert. I just sort of switch.
We do. That's the show.
like the first presentation. All the rest of it.
So this is our call.
Well, we can, you know, you ask. And pursue. Yeah, so it's taking much longer.
Yeah.
You guys clear on what to do? Hang up anyone? Any questions at all?
Well, we're just trying to make sure that, you know, because it actually is like, there should be like, spend some money here in this program show. That should be what's there.
So, but, because you're heading on the right path, right? So, just sort of, maybe your application says, oh, App.js, we're going to run it, App.js. The first time you have App.js. But what if I do acquisition? What if the acquisition is one split? Two. What if it's going to be a Catherine, well, that's technically two with that type of thing. But say it's Catherine, right? Right. So the point is, all those additional parameters are really ones, right? They translate are three separate parameters. One names. Does that make sense? What if I do node app.js movie in case I want to get my movie API? A movie title like that. But the movies is Armageddon, so I do node app.js movie in Armageddon. You know Armageddon is the only parameter. The second parameter after the first two, right? Well, what if it really is on with
That's what we just with the right?
So, okay, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't see.
Yeah. No, they did good. That was on the file.
Okay. So, even though you have to turn good. So then we're doing this.
Yeah. So, yeah, because what I was trying to do before was just like pass it in parameter and here's right.
So now you have this. Yes. This is correct. This is correct. And then you're in line with that's correct. Over here. The difference would be that over here you have well, I guess you would have. So you have a point.
No, I was just looking at them actually spinning some names and stuff.
So,
Because you were saying that you could go without the JS.
yeah.
Not only do you need to install it,
So,
you also need to put it on
so number one, I saw when I was doing it. So really, this is Because then you're trying to do. So TV represented that constructor. So we that's the want to make it. That's what not that. That's what you guys are trying to do. We want to make a new instance of the construction. So you're basically referencing the library by the area that represents the library. Instance of it. Now, yes. So then you do right, that's what it's named here.
Still have to say, so those two,
Because you're important, if you want to. But don't think that you're taking that. So that should try that. So anywhere from there, show the file.
Yeah.
Click on this. And that open folder. You got
See if you find it.
Right.
That's it.
No, so, no, actually, someone did it. That's it, that's it.
What's that?
Type of
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You run it, you see what goes on.
Right now.
Okay, all right, I didn't know this. So, okay, back here. So, you have to, so you have to do go back to the TV engineer. Or, yes. Figure out no, you made it. So, that's when we do no, because you're reading instance like that. I don't know.
So now they're shooting the final.
So what's happening is that's how the readers of media. So basically, this plan is like trying to okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So the point is, go back to this. And you're structured around, you don't have your own right, you're not receiving it around the job. You're not putting it in. However, once you have the object, this is very important.
Yeah.
Because you go to modern application. So remember, SQL basically means that it runs like runs procedures. Line 5 can run to line 4. This is very different. I'm doing code in I create 200 code. This calls something higher up. It's very different. So we've been writing so far.
Which I've gotten the habit of just like, all right, this has happened.
Right. You're used to
Yeah. So when throwing in a new show, like, so we won't be doing that.
But you could. Yeah. So like for example, you want to that. It's like get rid of the jobs and say. Now go back to and there's a parameter there. I have to. Now, this not no, right there.
Can't really see it.
Request show function body.
Yeah.
So what is this represent? That makes sense. This represents the instance of the app. So now if you run, you should get the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, what we can do is maybe it's not so when I say that, it's so I'm basically saying
It worked.
so basically this, so you gotta remember this. The constructor isn't a single object.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? That's important.
So whatever instance you're talking about.
Yes. So let me help you out here. I'm called So then,
It's gonna be really impressive.
Are you very impressed?
I am very impressed. I wouldn't be able to follow it.
So
So now we have. And I do.
So think of it this way, right? This is.
Just is referring to the shred.
In those two different objects. So we're, as that, this is like a stereotypical object. But we're not using the word, like in Java. We call it class. And we're making it instances. The point is that this refers to this instance. So I'm basically saying I have to show attribute of any given instance of each structure, its value. Now, why I'm getting into
Now, are you setting this show or the show or show?
Yeah.
This show.
No, that's should be. We should do that. We should probably do it.
yeah, okay. So basically, that's why. I'm not sure why that is. Right. So first off, I should also So we're getting two, notice we're getting two. That makes sense. We're just not getting that.
So, like, with no, you don't just buy a thing. It's just an actual since it's a passive variable itself.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Is that you shouldn't use one by itself. Maybe that's right. So that's why this is what it should be. But your question is a good one. That's exactly. You're kind of overthinking it at this time. So the idea is that you have these so let's say for example,
Oh, yes.
So then of course here, now this is what we're doing here. So I have to go here and here, and then now you have I can access those. So if you want like a function which is basically the same. It's stored in the object. You come back to it. The latest is right. Usually it's something like that. So they have different types of
How are you?
Get like 6 editors going on.
I know. You know what? Because by habit, I always open up PHP Storm, and so always something. Yeah.
So now I'm setting this gets set. That makes sense. Go over here and now I go. But that's kind of the idea. So these and then structure specifies all the so now I might switch right. It's a little bit hairy, but it's actually very solid. You may be judging under. Now what we did last time was basically use the whole time. So I could do something like this. What's the so this is something that is not said in there's no meaning actually
Yes.
this
That's exactly
what we call this I go here, I do for every single guy. That makes sense. So this is really important. It's got to be every single one got every single object. Well, what I would say is, I mean, it depends on how you structure it, right? Yeah. So don't forget that when you make your callback, it's going to be so this is not really differential. I see you're kind of yeah, so far you're evaluating for different that's where it's going to be tricky. Because in theory, when you do like really new movie or action, it's not so we want to you know, Bruce Willis, do
So
I don't know if it's
it's a lot of processing. especially going, I think the biggest is one, for different things that are running.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, with each other, and then exports back and forth instead of like JavaScript, where you can have functions, but it's all.
You're kind of including it. Here you are too, but what really is this part, you're really compartmentalizing. That's very important, right? Because let's say that, like, if you get down the line, you can actually extend and to the end of the you might have like because both the actor and the movie are both like, so because the idea is that you want any comments or methods that exist on both, you don't ever have to find them really constructive. Let's say, for example, you have a small break public laws. That output is see method this output in each construction. So what you do is you have a base construction. You extend your moving construction later. You have your loss output after you have the item. You know, that way you don't like it. That way you have to see how it's okay. This is how it's right? You'll see. And so my point is like, when you start doing something, really, because I can say I work on how to change around it. It's many different pieces that all in. But if I'm going to I want to have a little point so I can drop just that in here. Here. I'm going now. If you're voting for what you don't need, and your definition you don't need, right? Then your definition is which is a big deal, especially on those sites. Right here. You ever go to all caps, go to your application wrong, and reset it. It doesn't remember where you were. It starts over, and that's because you overloaded it. So memory management is the way to go. So you have oh yeah. Very important. You think of it like this, right? Like if you work out at the end of the day, if you carry on your workout all the time, and your back, and your work bag, you know, right? So instead, you just carry your work bag to work, and you just talk about your workout one, and you talk about whatever. That's all right. You don't want to carry all the yeah, you're complete. Yeah. So it's like that. I didn't want to deal with it. Hopefully, good luck. Yeah. No, process does talk. Okay. So process. By the way, you guys see this right here, right? Movie, find movie. That's kind of what we're doing, right? Yeah. You see how we have the difference here is that in what we were doing, we were passing Shrek in here. In this case, we're not. Right? We pass it into this method. It's just it's a slightly different way, but you know what I mean? It's the same concept, though, right? This is your class. You make a new instance of it. And in this case, they're passing a parameter, in this case, moving title. They're going and constructing moving title right out of the argument. And then they're passing it into this find moving method on that constructor. Right? It's similar to what you and I do. You need a variable constructor. So you have a separate file called TD in which you can define your TV constructor. Let me see. So yeah, that's your constructor. Yeah, that's your constructor. So you go to CLI. Okay, so now wait a minute. You can't access TV right now. You need to be able to put variables. I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
Just like they have on here, we had online. In fact, you can see it. See it right there, line 3. They encapsulated that from the library in a variable called they made it into a variable called so in the instance of that movie which comes from
All right, guys, let's take a quick 15-minute break, and we'll come back to it. Just give yourself a second to walk away. We'll come back. Want to go back to us? What was on the last screen? This one?
It was Visual Studio Code. It was Visual Studio Code. It was the new movie thing.
Oh.
I think it's this one.
Oh no, it wasn't that one. This one here?
Yes, that's it.
How's this helping? Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it's honestly even with the Twitter overrated. Yeah, I mean honestly, no, I mean someone's gonna leverage it. If anything you want to show them off on Twitter, someone's searching for your problem. You know what I'm saying? But this is a, you know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things. Yeah, so the fact that it's like I mean, there's someone in the world that's looking how is that, right? But in this case, it's like I guess if you're all concerned about it, like I'm saying, like people that lock the door and come back up, that's good. Also, like, oh, that locked the door.
That's what I do too.
If somebody weren't, they would have, right, they would have. And they would could be missing, right? And then we're talking about somebody that found some way to. So I would say, if you're all concerned, if I'm taking photos, that's really concerned. No. I mean, Twitter account is only thing, so it's saying, hey, you disabled your key because it was misused. That would be the next one. That would be. If you felt better about it, just Google, turn off, or shut off, or disable. I'll show you how to make that no longer work. Okay, probably too. Okay, I'll just do like that. Okay, don't worry.
It's like this one. We're just.
So you have this is all great. So fine. If not, look up the just Google request. And then I'll check that out.
Actually, this is excellent.
It is not callback, right? Show that they show that what's going to happen is this file is part of what. So the show itself is going to be a global variable. That's good. So in this next line, now you're going to go. So in that we should be able to retrieve. Right. So let's just do because that's one of the zeros. So now go back to your SQL. Okay, so one TV, that's good. You have the slider on that's perfect. All show, that's good. Underneath the show. Underneath the show. Use those plans. So first things first. Let's number 4. Course which is right before this. We're going to create an object that can construct. So how do we create an object? But this doesn't need to be specifically. This is well, let's make it TV. Let's make it lowercase. I will know.
No, we can set up.
Which
You can always sort of lowercase up or whatever.
it's
Oh, it's whatever.
yeah, I'm not sure. Let's go to that.
Try that one.
Okay, and then underneath show, we need to call that. So how do we get final? So create an object. Now we have a method here. But yeah. Television. Baseline.
Yeah.
So what this should do is design show. Go ahead. Let's run slides. Are you sure TV that is? Okay, so like full out TV.
Yeah.
Set the bar TV should be up. Because we're replacing, we have that module that's actually taking that. It makes me that now. So so now we need to go back. And now we need to do like we need to actually get a flash.
Yeah.
So let's go back.
Yeah, that has to be
Let's just say. So
Yeah, I did. But I didn't do any strategies. It's some
oh, I see you're not actually getting any. Hold on.
No, it's heading into, so let's do this. Really? Yeah, well,
Okay. So, where did you set? So we actually just for this purpose, so I just
I mean, it's just
all right, so let's see.
I don't know what.
So, okay, let's make sure we can carry it. West,
Well,
like that.
They got the shot, yeah.
Let's just see what's the direction.
Well, that's.
Right, that was on. I want to say that.
I wasn't even looking for a separate API, I just wanted to pull up the documentation.
So we are getting two that we are actually. Let's the first, the three parameters are arrows. I mean, response is actually right about. That's, yeah, so this is the actual response. That won't. So that's. Maybe just how to log show. So right.
Oh. Yeah. So we think so. There? Or do we already try that?
It's just you. So how can you just let's stop. Let's do a show. Now I'm crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Play with it. I think that's fine. So just check out the
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the computer does. Well, you know, that's actually very troublesome for people with an accent like myself because Siri never understands my accent.
Mine show. I said again. So let's say this is the second time. So mine show. File. So get rid of the file. Or you already assigned it. So now it's well, yeah, you can join the yeah, let's use stuff. Sorry, man.
Thank you.
Because now every hobby. Thank you.
This was.
All right, guys, let's start on the next part. Let's start on the actors if we haven't already. So we'll work on the next piece of this little puzzle. So we can select out the instructions for the find actor into this, right? So we did the find show. Now we're going to do find actor. Christian, can you select that out quick? Just the instructions for the. So it should return the actor's name, the birth date, the gender, the country, and their URL on TV Maze. Just a little hint, the find actor should be pretty similar to the find show method. Do you have it? Oh, did I didn't even send you this, the instructions piece of this. Do you have it? You select it? I have it.
So there's something here.
All right. Otherwise, I got it here, guys. I'll select it. Oh, you already sent it? Oh. All right. Also add that this find actor.
You set it up the exact same way. Oh, no, we didn't. There's so much air. No, we're done. We're done. Yeah. Good.
They are in that.
Did you want us to go off the side?
Yeah.
We had a lot of issues, but the one that I got down to was this wasn't actually capacity, yeah, or we got both. So like when you search
Yeah. The one, yeah. When I do that, I have thoughts. But if I stop. And I have. Doesn't make any sense. I know.
Hey, stop taking shortcuts. I can't help you guys any other way.
Can you send out another URL?
What?
Like for the shows and the actors URL?
What do you mean? Oh, no. It'll. Oh.
Because when we put it in play, it brings up the show that has our name in
You're supposed to look at the TV Bays API document.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. That'd be easy. Maybe go quicker. I'll send it to everybody.
Your generation is young. I this is all time. Yes, yeah, no, what you have here. When I was no way. They And at the same time, it's just like we're this is so, well, that's no,
Oh, no, I. Yeah. Got all the information. Okay. Just wanna.
Right, okay, so what did you try?
Try like I think just the thing that's screwed us up. I think this guy
The original, right, so.
Yeah. That's just the body there. Because that's what we tried to do. It just shows us like one graph. And then when we throw one, it's really correct. want to be an independent man.
You are.
Hide my bald spot.
How is us Chinese?
Is this getting worse?
All right, guys, how many need like 5 more minutes? 5 minutes, 5 minutes? Okay, I'll give you 5 more minutes. All right, guys, real quick, if I get your attention real quick, guys, big power clap. All right, one more big power clap. All right, we can come back to this project in a second. I did have a callback exercise I wanted to do today as well, just to kind of explain when I'm going to be using some different words a little bit coming up. Those words are like callback and closure. You're going to hear me start using those a little more frequently, right? So what is a callback to you guys? What do you think it is? You can read that if you want. That's cool. So we've already been doing callbacks, right? Anytime something's being completed, we're waiting for it, we get something back, and we add it as a callback, right? So we get a function, something, we're assigning it a callback, right? So anytime that we were done it just in this latest activity, right? When we did a request, we got a callback from it, right? What are some things we got back? When we did a request, what did we get back? Response is one. What else did we get back? Body, sure. Data and body. Whatever you assign it to, right? Whatever you assign those request callbacks to, right? You can call them data, you can call them body, call them whatever you want to, as long as you use them in the same method, right? Okay. So in the, like, if we're talking about the FS, the file system, stuff that you guys went over just a couple of weeks ago, there's one or two things that happen with the situation, right? Either there's an error, right? Or you get the data you want, right? There's one of the two things happen. That essentially is your callback, right? That's happening with that. So in either way, it does it back. Either way, the function does some work and calls back when complete, so we can do something afterwards. So it's like, now we have this, we can create this action, okay? And some of us would call that like a promise to have this information. We can use this now, right? Okay, so when I say callback, I think I'll just kind of use it, but the term is basically the same thing we've been doing before. It's just the fact that we get a request, or we have a response, or we're using one of these new packages, and we're doing an asynchronous method out to something else, and we're calling back something. We're getting something from that, right? Does that make sense, guys? Sort of. Just at a high level. What I really want to get into the next piece of it, which is closure, which is a function that's inside us, and we've also dealt with this, right? So this function, this method, that's inside of another function, which we've already been dealing with, right? We've already called, like in this last one, what did we do? We did like a find show, right? We created an object, and inside of that was another one, right? Or another file. Sorry, I'm skipping all around. When you have a function that's within another function, right? You have access to the variables that are inside that function right above it. You have access to the variables that are at the outside, globally, outside of it, right? In this case, this is the closure, right? It has access to the files around it. You can call it within the function itself, right? Exclusively. So I'll show kind of some examples that when we come back, I definitely want to cover this more because I had to brush through like, I don't know, I had like 3 pages of notes written. I tried to compress it into 10 seconds and that didn't work. So what I'll send out to you guys at the end, I do want to take that note quiz real quick. And just should only take a few minutes. But what I'll send out is the callback example, which will outline all of this really clearly. And then and the solutions for it, just so you guys can walk through it. So please just look into it. Like I said, this isn't going to be anything new. It's just the terminology. We'll tend to use those more in class. And I just want you guys to kind of understand what I'm talking about. I think most of you have heard me say it, and I don't think there's been any problems with it so far. So yeah. Okay, you guys ready for the test thing? Yes. So we do a test at the end because then everybody's really tired. Does that make sense? Oh man, I can't wait though. You guys know what we're covering tomorrow or Wednesday? My favorite. Oh yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. I don't know. You guys are gonna have to like pull me out of here. It's gonna be so much fun. We're doing MySQL, right? And that's just something I've been working with for like 15 years, so it's gonna be really fun to do that here. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, guys, just do your best on it, and
Can you get that?
Somebody else.
I guess I don't want to keep you past, but if you could just, if you still need to finish up, you still need like another minute or two, please do so. But I don't want to hold you guys here. I'll slack out the information on callbacks just so there's no confusion. Sorry about my rattled off description, making sense. But I'll be more clear. Send a good example of it. So okay, all right, guys. Well, to finish up, and I'll see you on Wednesday.